So you can tell, but that Perlita's bidded a Fats team. They're all mad. They get mad because they know they didn't win. But that's what happens when you people live through the All-Americans little crime spree boasting what they did and claim they didn't, but you all did. Because if you all didn't live through that story, then reality would be different. So that's why I go Tom Sorensen, Jim Riley, Joe Zillig, Harry Race, Bernard LaChance, DJ Dave, Perlita Quinwan, Elton Anderson, Don Riley, 61 Amphibious Spaceman, GPS Paso Robo, Rapist Knight, Red Randy, Red Gordon, and Ellery, Charles D. Ellery, Jim Hall, Bill Duvall, Doug King, Morgan, Steve Jones. The Tomb Raider boy, comic book boy, the chair rapist, the blue room rapist, the barnyard rapist, let's see, McDonald's, you wanted water, coffee. The Hugo people lived through that. The whispering faggot, the Fairmount, and his lies. The oyster cracker man in the blue boy boxes. The bald East Coast Negro. Negro Freddy from Texas. Jonestown, Branch Davidians, and Havens Gate. And the gangs. So if you guys didn't, if you prove this, that you guys lived through that man's shit, Perlita's lies, the Indian woman, the Episcopal Church boy, and that's what you guys do. The groups of the bit of the fat and country and faggatory western and carnies sit around and lie. Red Randy and Hillbilly Squad Julie, and you guys use those churches, and that's the lives you live. If you didn't kill or commit rape or murder and torture oyster cracker man and rip it all open here or in Texas or Florida or Colorado, Oregon, Washington, or Michigan, New York, wherever Joe and them ran around with britches did, it means you're liars, Taco Britches Joe. You're the dipshits of the earth. So he let you live that way, asserting that you're Adam and Eve or God or Jehovah, bidded bat for carny fag men of the Bafeka Black, Taco Joe. That's what you guys people live. See, Perlita, Bernard's all like, no, you're only bidded the facts, Bernard LaFagula chance to prove that you're fucking idiots and liars, and that's the lives you live. Hope it was worth stealing it. So you can pretend with your carny cans and all that you're some great being there. Red Randy, Red Gordon, and Ellery, Jim Hall, Bill Duvall, and show off Geico, Markdown Joe, and Burn Maker, and My Boss, and the bit of that. Aurora Central Debate Team. I know you guys communicate, and you guys pass it around. So that's what you guys created and lied for Bernard LaFagula Chance and Perlita, their supposed the jewelry box or doll house or blue house, blue phone, blue computer, blue HP, IBM, Intel. Like I said, the tech companies is why it doesn't work. Because you guys as leaders are nasty, stink, rapist, fag, trash. And that's the lives you live. That's what you guys get for lying and tearing up the shit out here. And as they threw their temper tantrum, I'm tired of them always winning. Okay, and you guys still lost. Because my wife, her and I fell in love a long time ago, and I made sure she'd win all the time. And she's super ODG. It's not my problem, faggatory GPS night, and you guys went around making people fat and nasty and sick with Joe and shit, showing off Zion eating in Atlantis, doing all this shit. So that guy got his wish. I'm tired of all them winning, winning. Okay, but my wife still won. Because I told her first thing, and Heather and I actually fell in love. And I believe that was a long time ago, but when I was a little kid, yeah, it works. And my kindergarten teacher. So you guys can have ghetto bang and all that shit, but it's stinky, nasty, and fucking stupid. It means if you guys didn't want to live this way, you shouldn't hatch plans fully well knowing that you destroyed societies in order to evolve areas to live in a shit pile to prove that your destructive tantrum is what creates the world. Sorry, Joe, Joe Zillig. For real, that's just the way it is. I prepared for it. You adults instilled an ideal within your children, and then you get pissed off when we use it. So whose problem is that? Because like I said, Joe, I didn't want to live in the nasty shit stink pile of your Stevie of the bitted and can't good bitted shit. You idiots fucking did. So that's what you guys get. And you guys can use whatever excuse you want, bitted to the fat, Perlita, and all that stuff. And now we know what Bernard and them like to fuck for money. Steve Jones and Morgan. And it proves that you guys still live. And that's the way it'll always be. Dumb shits. Inbred trash. Just like you always were, Bernard. Carney boy. Keep that nose in the air, Ellery, Bernard, and Perlita. Negroes. It makes it so simple. Especially when you got those grins doing. You guys got fried. because you guys' leader was a rapist, piece of fucking pedophile trash and destroyed trillions of dollars to just sort of how fag he was. And guess what? Most people didn't give a shit because he didn't give a